everybody. Thank you very much for your patience. Well, as you all know, we're all here to celebrate the launch of the book, The Krishna Key by Ashwin Sanghi. It's his third book, and we're so glad to have all of you here with us because we're going to be getting into the book, talking about it. We have Anil Dharkar here with us to present the various nuances of the book. So with an encouraging round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the author of the book today, Ashwin Sanghi, along with Anil Dharkar, here to launch the book, The Krishna Key. Well, as you all know, at Crossword, we aim to be a point of social and cultural interaction, where authors and poets hold court, where children are regaled, where people gravitate to be informed and to be entertained and to be enlightened. As you all know, we're going to be launching the book, we're going to be talking about it, but to give us, to bring this book forward to you on a different platform altogether, we're so pleased to have with us Mr. Anil Dharkar. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, he's a well-known writer and a columnist, and he's been the editor of some of India's leading publications. He started and he also heads Literature Live, which is Mumbai's international literary festival, which this year will run from the 31st of October to the 4th of November at NCPA. So reserve your dates, ladies and gentlemen. To tell you a little more about the book, just a very short synopsis. 5,000 years ago, there came to earth a magical being called Krishna who brought about innumerable miracles for the good of mankind. Humanity despaired of its fate if the blue god were to die, but was reassured that he would return in a fresh avatar when needed in the eventual dark age, the Kaliyug. Well, to tell you more about this book, I'm going to hand it over now to the author himself, who's going to tell us a little more, and then we're going to have Anil and he talk more about the book. Ashwin.
I'm not good with these things, you know. Should I start with just a small reading of like...
Yeah, I think
I need a book. I'm bookless.
Right here. Bookless at his own event. Yeah, I think reading will sort of set the pace for the proceedings.
And then we can just chat with Anil.
Yeah. Don't you know it by heart?
Anil, the book runs into...
Did you actually write it?
No, I have a ghostwriter based out of Bangalore. I can see a friend of mine who suggested that. So, I'm going to read very little. Just
you should have been outsourcing it to America. You know, we should do it the reverse.
Reverse flow. Saini put the seal down on the blotting paper and looked up at Kurkude. "Do you have any theories regarding this seal?" he asked. Kurkude smiled. "I'm a simple nuclear physicist, my boy. I deal with things that can be explained, not the divine," he exclaimed. "Interesting," murmured Saini. "What?" asked Kurkude. "Interesting that you should view the divine as unexplainable," said Saini. "But that's true, isn't it? The ancient Egyptians saw the sun rise in the east and set in the west. They didn't know what it was, so they called him Ra, the sun god, who travels across the skies in his chariot. Given that the rising and setting sun couldn't be explained, it became divine. The sun lost its divine status when man learned that it was a giant ball of energy around which the other planets revolved. The divine is simply that which cannot be explained at that given moment in history," concluded Kurkude. "In your world, God will cease to exist as science advances," joked Saini. "What you say isn't untrue. With every advance in our understanding of the world, we leave less that cannot be explained. As that happens, there's less room for God." So that's the only very short passage that I'll read, because I would like to leave the maximum amount of time for discussion. So I'll leave it to Anil.
And I think you also want to maintain the mystery of the book. Well, you know, I've read the book, and if I were a Mumbai cop And since Ashwin hasn't paid me by hafta, I'm going to reveal the murderer to you. The butler did it. But of course, there's no butler in this. We're talking of a very, very different kind of thriller. It's, in a way, a mythological thriller set in modern times. And let me tell you, it's riveting. When you start reading it, you can't stop.
Thank you, Anil. Thanks. I'm assuming that there are some out here who've already probably read it, or maybe in the process of reading it.
Yeah, but those who have read it shouldn't give away too much. I think that is important. Ashwin, I want to begin with asking you, who is Sean Higgins? Have you heard of a writer called Sean Higgins? Some of you have.
Well, when I started writing my first book, The Rosabal Line, I really, honestly speaking, wasn't sure as to whether I was going to receive brickbats or bouquets. My gut instinct told me it was going to be more of brickbats. So I just figured that, hey, wouldn't it be nice in case there's this personality called Sean Higgins who stands in front of me and is ready to receive the stones as they fall. And in those days, I was very fond of playing Scrabble. So I took all the letters in Ashwin Sanghi, put them on a Scrabble board, and started jumbling them around to see what I could come up with. And the only decent anagram that I could come up with was Sean Higgins. Of course, that name is the name under which I published The Rosabal Line.